What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So we got another episode of This Week in Warframe. We're going the entire weekly reset, and yes, this is a big week for Warframe here. We've got the new update, Lotus Eaters, coming out on Wednesday, so that's going to be some great stuff. And with Lotus Eaters will be Sevagoth Prime, so we got some prep stuff for you today for Sevagoth Prime with this weekly reset, so let's get right into it. But before we do, make sure to sub this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads, build videos, discussion videos, all that kind of stuff. And we're also live on stream right now, recording this video. We'll be doing the reset after this video goes up. So come on, stop by the live stream if you're not already. Alright, so first thing for Sevagoth Prime prep with this update, and this weekly reset for that matter, is I would recommend do not turn in your Steel Essence for Relic Packs until Wednesday. Why is that? If I bought these Relic Packs right now, they would have the current relics, and the new stuff comes out on Wednesday, so when Wednesday comes around, get these Relic Packs when the new update comes out, and you'll get new Sevagoth Prime, Verglas Prime, Epitaph Prime kind of relics. So, great stuff. There's actually the Nautilus Prime with Verglas Prime, but yeah, don't buy these until Wednesday, guys. Don't make the mistake. You can still buy the Kuva, no problem. But yeah, as far as the weekly reset item here, you got a Zal Ribbon from Teshin for 75 Steel Essence. Not really what I'd recommend to you. I'd recommend holding off on this, though, and buying it later. But yeah, as well as that, we've also got some drops happening on Tuesday for Warframe. We're going to have the Baza Normal, the Castle War, and some armor set. Basically, by watching my stream or the official the Gamescom launch night, you can get these items for free. Just basically delete them for weapon slots. So you can pretty much just get these drops, delete the weapons, and you'll have slots open for some of the new weapons. So, yeah. Let's go over to Archimedea wares, though, see what we got going on. And yeah, guys, there won't be a ton going on in the Lotus Eaters update, but we're going to have some pretty decent lore stuff happening, hopefully.
Drifter.
But for Archimedea wares over here, we've got nothing of much big value here, unfortunately. Just some pistol ribbons, or pistol ribbon or rifle ribbon, Forma Blueprint, 5k Kuva, and Exos Adapter, all for Pathos Clamp. So if you want any of this stuff, feel free, but I wouldn't say that any of this stuff is super worth it this week, unfortunately.
Nothing tickled your curiosity.
But you know, I've been wondering for a while, where is the Elite Deep Archimedian boss fight? We checked today. It has been since the week of May 5th that the EDA boss fight has not shown up. Isn't that crazy? We're about to check again, and I'm not holding my breath on it being the new, the boss fight returning, but there's a chance. There's definitely a chance. But yeah, as well as the Archon Hunt is going to be here. Let's see what Archon Hunt we have. We got the Snake Archon with the mission types being Spy, Disruption, and the Final Boss Showdown. So I've got 80% drop rate. Hopefully I get it, but you know, there's a chance it goes to 100 technically with that pity system. Moving on to another late game mission here, we're going to the Sanctum Anatomica. We're going to talk about that EDA and as far as what mission types are going to be here. It really feels like it's Exterminate, Alchemy, and then Disruption every single week. Hopefully that changes, but I see a lot of your guys' comments saying, I don't even want the boss fight anyway, so hey, you know what? We all play the game for different reasons. So let's see what we got here, and look at that. I called it no boss fight, and we got an Alchemy. I love Alchemy. It's my weekly Alchemy mission right here. And we've also got no near defense, apparently, either. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and just see what we have, though. Did we have a similar mission last week? I could have sworn a similar mission last week. But either way, let's see what we got. So we got Survival, with the modifiers being Parasitic Towers. Life Support Towers only activate after 20 enemies have been killed within a 15-meter radius of them. Okay, so basically, if you're soloing it, make sure you lead enemies to the towers before you kill them, or you may not be able to activate those towers, which would be pretty unfortunate if you run out of life support. But thankfully, it's only the first mission, so it's not going to be that much time lost. Myopic Munitions. Enemies will only take damage if a player is within 15 meters of them. So lure them to the tower and then kill them right next to them on the tower. So annoying there. And then the last one, Bolstered Belligerence. All enemies have Overguard equal to 50% of their maximum health. So you can't even use grouping ability to pull them in because of Overguard preventing CC ability. So a little bit annoying, but survival missions aren't usually that bad in these EDAs, especially if they're on the first mission. Second mission, Alchemy, everyone's favorite. Hopefully it's not the modifier from last week, because guys, that modifier last week was glitched. There was people that were stuck in the mission for hours. We were stuck in the Alchemy last week for a half hour, and it didn't even glitch for us. That's how bad it was. So yeah, if you see the modifier that says Amphors only drop from Eximus, stay away. It is definitely glitchy when that one shows up. But yeah, for what we got this week, we don't have that one, thankfully. We do have Hazardous Goods. Amphors will inflict their associated elemental damage while being carried. So if you're holding a Toxin Grenade, you will be Toxin proc or Toxin damage through your shields. Just be aware of that. Maybe throw on some Overguard from Dante Spectre or something along the lines of that. Also, the final one is going to be the last two. Entanglement. Allies within 4 meters of slain enemies have reduced movement speed and parkour velocity. Hardly even matters. And the last one here is going to be Vampiric Limitless. Slow-moving Vampire Limitless will follow you around and make your day more annoying. This makes you have to pay a little bit more attention in Alchemy, unfortunately, so it's not going to be fun no matter what. So basically just look for the Limitless and just play the mission as you're supposed to. It should at least go at normal speed. And for your final mission, you got the Disruption, and as far as the modifiers here, you've got Engorged, Gruzlings. All Gruzlings are Eximus. Just a heads up, those Gruzling are so... the Eximus Gruzling is so tanky, you can just ignore him, honestly. It'll be flying around. If you have like a cheese strat with like, maybe like Silence or something, or like Mirage, big DPS or whatever, sure, you can kill the Gruzling, but it's definitely more tanky than Demolist. I think don't even bother killing it most of the time. Second modifier, Devil's Bargain. Allies with a 4 meters of slain enemy will have reduced ammo efficiency, but it also increased fire rate. So you'll drain your ammo really fast. And the final modifier, Fortified Foes. Guardian Eximus may appear, including a Guardian Eximus mech. So they're just going to be really, really tanky. But it's not too bad of a disruption, honestly. For the individual modifiers, you got Energy Exhaustion, draining 2 energy per second for each enemy nearby. Lethargic Shields, giving you basically don't have any normal shield regens, 500% increased delay. And then also Frame Curse Syndrome, activating the ability inflicts 50 damage upon you. And then also everyone's favorite Gear Embargo, preventing Spectres and Energy Pads and stuff like that from being used. So yeah, pretty annoying EDA. And the more annoying part is how this one mission type does not appear. I might even have to contact one of the devs about this, because it might even be a glitch at this point. But that's your EDA today, guys, or this week. And if you don't have access to that, I get a lot of questions about this. It requires rank 5 with a Kavia Syndicate to get access to that. And also, rank 5 Kavia Syndicate can access this extra Archon shard once per week. We get a red Archon shard at Bird 3. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the Steel Path Incarnons and all that stuff. And yeah, guys, there is going to be some drops on Tuesday, like I said, for Gamescom. But the big stuff is going to be happening on Wednesday on the 21st with that Sevagoth Prime launch. But that being said, yeah, there's not going to be a ton going on in the update past like the probably really short quest. Now for your normal path circuit stuff, you got Ash, Frost, and Nyx. I'd say go for Ash because he's pretty annoying to farm. Frost and Nyx come from boss fights. You got this guy Nyx coming from Forid, and Frost coming from the Lech Krill. I think it's Lech Krill and Captain Vor duo fight on Ceres. Ash, last time I checked, comes from Railjack missions nowadays, which is pretty bad, because Railjack is not only buggy, but the drop rate's not too high on these Ash parts. So I say go for Ash. Now as far as their Helminths, you got the first ability of Ash Shuriken being the Helminth, the second ability of Frost, Ice Wave being the Helminth, and the first ability of Nyx, Mind Control being the Helminth. They're all okay Helminths, but yeah, Ash is the most annoying to farm normally, so I'd say just get him because their Helminths aren't really that great, to be honest. Now for Steel Path, another not amazing week for Incarnons, but this is what you got. I'll definitely give you a full review of these, but remind you if you haven't played in a while, you can pick things like Kuva or Rivens instead of Incarnons if you still want to play some Circuit. But you got the Bratton Incarnon, the Leto Incarnon, the Skana Incarnon, the Paris Incarnon, and the Kunai Incarnon. These are some of the worst Incarnons in the game as far as, hype level, but they're still very powerful for high damage numbers. The Bratton Incarnon becomes a full auto, fire gun, basically. It's got AoE bullets, but the thing is, this thing is just a lot worse than the Burston most of the time. It's got a lot less fire rate. It has more damage per bullet, technically, but the fire rate of the Burston, it's very similar to this, just pushes it way ahead of this thing. Some of the top tier Incarnons can give you base crit increases, that's always good. But yeah, guys, too slow a fire rate, in my opinion, for an overall, for being the best of the best. It's definitely below the Burston, but it can still get the job done. It's one of the only primaries this week as well. But the other primary I actually like more is the Paris. But yeah, so low recommendation on the Bratton Incarnon. It can get the job done, but I wouldn't recommend it. Leto Incarnon did get a little bit of a glow up a little bit with the full auto changes. This thing is going to be very similar to the Dual Toxicist, or the Bronco for that matter, where the bullets will ricochet to nearby enemies when it's in Incarnon form. That being said, the Dual Toxicist does what this thing does better. And also, I realized this today, the Leto Vandal is very rare. The Leto Vandal is what I recommend you use this on, because you're not going to have the Leto Prime unless you're an original founder. The Leto Vandal is very rare, it's very expensive to buy plat-wise, and putting this in the Leto Normal would not really feel that great. I have it on the Leto Normal and the Leto Vandal, but yeah, guys, it's kind of hard to get it by the time you'd have this. So if you do have the Leto Vandal and you want to make it really strong, it is really strong with this, but a lot of people don't have it because it's ESO, and it's also worth 200 plus plats. So big Incarnons here, Death Trap Trigger. On equipping from primary, massive increase to crit chance and crit damage. Makes it red crit very easily. A decent pistol, but yeah, most people don't have the Lado Vandal. We've gone to the Skana Incarnon. It's the only melee option you got this week, and it's basically a really high stat sword. Some of the uses of this are like farming endo on the arena, or just using a very high stat sword, basically. The Incarnon form on this thing will make nearby enemies stunned when you get to the Incarnon form, or do a finisher attack. So it's very similar to like Radial Blind. You can use it with Excalibur, probably. Do a Radial Blind, do a finisher, blind enemies nearby. It's like a chaining of blinding. If you think that sounds good, feel free. I just don't really need a generic high-power sword. I have a good room for it as well, too. Just isn't really used much by me. But still, a great sword at the end of the day. And it's the only melee this week, so decent recommendation. Paris Incarnon, it's probably one of my favorites this week. It's basically the exact same thing as the Nadaruk or the Dread Incarnon, where it's a railgun arrow with base fire. Actually, I think Nadaruk might have base radiation, but either way, it's got base fire on the Incarnon form, and this makes this thing really strong. Not to mention there's a mod called Visage Ball, which is a Exilis mod that only works on the Paris Prime, giving status chance increase in the Exilis slot. So that's a great thing that not many guns can actually do. It's a unique mod to only the Paris Prime. These arrows can have crazy status chance and crit chance, getting like 200% crit chance and 200% status chance in the same build. So I highly recommend this one. Probably one of the best bows in the game. And yeah, the Paris Prime is pretty easy to get, so yeah, I highly recommend that one. And as far as the Kunai Incarnon, this is going to be one of the hardest hitting single target weapons in the game, in my opinion. But that's the thing, is it's very single target. The Incarnon form will make it have homing, multi-shot kunais, and those will go for headshots as well. The homing goes directly for headshots, giving you millions of damage on headshots. And just like the Lado, this one's got Death Trap Trigger. When equipping this thing from your primary slot to your secondary slot, it will give you increased crit chance and crit damage, giving you that crazy red crit one-shot. Now, as far as recommendations on what to use here, a lot of these, like I said earlier, these are not the best Incarnons in the game. I'd say pick whatever looks good to you. But if you're asking me what I would like to bring, after using all these things a ton of times, I'd say I'd want the Paris and the Kunai. Might be kind of boring to use, but these are very effective weapons that have very high damage, but they're not really the most AoE. Like, this thing can clear out an entire hallway in like one shot. But this thing, this is one enemy at a time. And I'm not exaggerating, one enemy at a time. So if you are looking for more AoE, the Lado did get a nice little buff up. So if you have the Lado Vandal, sure. I have the Lado Normal, it's not really as great. The Lado Vandal is definitely better than the Lado Normal. But yeah, guys, Kunai and Paris will be my recommendation for this week. And if you have the Skana, the Prisma Skana, feel free to try that one out as well. Every Incarnon in the game is honestly good, but I'm giving you the recommendations of which ones I'd say you prioritize. Now moving on to your Nightwave season. There's probably going to be about 2 more months of this Nightwave. I had to predict it. So there's no real rush, guys. And also the rewards of this Nightwave season were kind of lackluster at this level 30 drop, in my opinion. But as far as the challenges, we're still doing this stuff. We have the first one, Don't Blow It. Complete 12 conduits in disruption. So basically 3 rounds of disruption where you're defending every single conduit. Not too bad. You can just do this in like the lowest level disruption in the game if you want to, like on Mars. Then you got Forward Thinking, destroy a cruiser with a forward artillery cannon. I've heard Railjack's really glitchy right now, so hopefully that's doable. Maybe if you're having a problem with it, do it in solo, and then just abort the mission once you do this challenge completion. Resource Scavenger, collect 20 different types of resources. That's pretty easy. So yeah, nothing too complicated. That's technically an Elite Weekly, so basically play missions on like 3 different planets, you have this completed no problem. And then your last Elite Weekly, unlock 10 relics. That shouldn't be too hard to Sevagoth Prime coming on Wednesday, so very free one right there. And you get your normal weeklies. Kill 30 Eximus, complete 15 missions, and kill 500 enemies generically. For your Nightwave store here, look what we got, the Ceramic Dagger I just saw right there. But we've got your Evergreen stuff at the top, and some helmets. If you think I need these helmets, feel free to pick them up. But to me, none of these are really looking like I need to grab any of this stuff, so I already have it all, to be honest. As far as Aura mods, you got Deadeye, Dreamer's Bond, EMP Aura, Energy Siphon, and Infested Impotence. The only ones that are really worth getting here is actually none of them, because you get Dreamer's Bond given to you for free in the story quest. And Energy Siphon is basically just this, but a little bit better. So if you need 0.3 more energy per second, and you don't want a health regen at all, just get Energy Siphon, I suppose. But these are not really must-have ones anymore, guys. You're looking for Steel Charge, Corrosive Projection, stuff like that. So, yeah. Also got Wild Friends of the Gracata. Not really a must-have mod, but okay. You got Ceramic Dagger Blueprint. Reminder, if you didn't watch my Mesa video from like last week, this is no longer as good on Mesa's pistols as it used to be. It's still good on other frames, but yeah, pistols no longer build the Incarnon Charge or Ceramic Dagger anymore, so that got massively nerfed. So unfortunately, I'm using the Furax Wraith Incarnon for Mesa nowadays. This thing is, but that being said, I did use a ceramic dagger as a normal weapon in circuit today, and it still does millions and millions of damage, so it's totally fine as a normal weapon still. So, still pick it up, and the Incarnon should be here in like 4 or 5 weeks. So, great item right there. Shrapnel rounds for the Marelock is going to be one of your Conclave augment mods. Also got Focus Acceleration for the Tetra, Ambush Optics for Rubico, and Rumbled for Atlas. None of these are really worth picking up in my opinion. And that's going to be your weekly reset for the most part, guys. We do have some big stuff happening later in the week, and those drops on Tuesday, so make sure you stop by the live stream if you've not already. And I'll be live with those drops. So, let's see what we got as far as invigorations. And if you want access to this stuff, you must have rank 5 with the upstairs Daimo Syndicate, like the Albrecht, whatever they're called, the Albrecht family. And additionally, if you don't want to do that, you can actually just buy this with plat in the market for like 300 plat. These are random per player per week. Just because I have Octavia doesn't mean you're going to have Octavia this week. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we got melee damage and sprint speed for Octavia. That could probably be good for moving around faster, but I'm not really using melee on Octavia that often. For Dagoth, we got primary critical chance and jump resets. That sounds pretty funny with Dagoth, because I think her new mod, like, her new augment mod gives you increased critical damage or something along the lines of that. Oh no, it applies doom on hit. So yeah, this could be crazy good with the new Dagoth augment. As long as like use like the turret or something. And then for your boy Hydroid, we got range and efficiency. Hey, that's a pretty good one for Hydroid. Gives him plenty of extra space for his abilities, and also will give him a constant flow of ability energy with the efficiency. So good stuff there. Not look at anything really worthy of override. Maybe I can override this one onto like Titania for farming later in the week. Actually, yeah, this could be a good one to override into Titania for like Thermal Sunder or like Dark Verse or whatever for breaking open relics. So maybe I'll think about that later in the week. But either way, guys, hope you found this video fun and helpful. Enjoy your no EDA boss fight. I might have to contact one of those devs later tonight. But yeah, guys, I'll see you guys next time. New videos every day on this channel, and take it easy. Peace!